Hello, this is Silver Bullet, and I'm going to briefly show you how to play Carcassonne. Carcassonne is a great game. I'm going to be lazy and show you how to play it using Tabletop Simulator. This mod was created by Markimus, Markimus, and all credit goes to him in this sort of marvelous display of Carcassonne. Now, I do own this game, but I'm just lazy, so I'm going to explain how to play this game here. This game is basically a card placement game. You're going to be drawing tiles and placing down tiles to build a city, build cities and build lands. You'll be using your meeples to claim features about those lands. When those features are completed, you'll score points on them. When you score points, you get 8 meeples in total. So you'll see that I have 7 here. The 8th meeple goes on the scoreboard. So everybody starts at 0. So let's say we had 2 players and playing. That's how that would work. And the way it works basically is simple. If you score, 9 points, you would move your piece up 9. You score another 9 points, you're up 18. If you score and you're at like 49, then you just keep going. You just remember, oh, hey, I have 50. This person was kind enough here to have these 50 and 100 point markers. But honestly, unless you're playing with some crazy expansions, this does actually include Inns and Cathedrals expansion. I've never played those before, so I will not be going over those. But I will be going over the basics of what you get in the normal box of Carcassonne. So what you get in the normal box of Carcassonne is the normal game, and you also get the River expansion pack, which is a very small expansion pack, modifies the way the game starts. I'll go over that later. It's nothing really to worry about. It doesn't change up a whole lot, but it's interesting and adds a little more tiles to play with and stuff. So yeah, the way we'll start is basically the way you start the game. You throw the starting tile into the middle, and then you have this main deck. You can shuffle them up, which is what we did here. And honestly, I normally just put these in a pile, just all spread out on like a table or things like that. You do not have to put them into a solitary pile and draw them from the top. You can draw them from wherever. The important thing is that you don't actually see what it is until like you've actually chosen it. So when you pick up tile, you have to place it adjacent to another tile. You cannot place it adjacent diagonally. You must place it in a way that connects with the tile in one of the 4 directions, up, down, left, or right. Also, the way you place your tile has to make sense. So you cannot place your tile like this because a road is now hitting a city. That makes no sense at all. However, if I rotate it, oh, the city's now connecting to the city. That's cool. If I connect it again, oh, the city's connected to the city. All is good. All is wonderful. There are a couple ways to score, which I should probably go over first. But you know what, we'll just play and I'll go over all those as we do it. So when you place a tile, there are features that you basically can try to capture and hold. And if the feature gets completed during the game, you'll score on them. If it's not completed, you'll also score on them, but the points are worth less and stuff. So there's a city I can capture, a field I can capture, which we'll get into, and a road that I could capture. I can only capture one of those things, so I can only place a meeple on one of those things. And once that meeple is there, he's stuck there until that feature is complete. There's no way I can get this guy out until the feature is complete, and you want to be very specific on where you put the meeple. So depending on what you do, you might want to, I don't know how to rotate him the way I want him to, but you might want to take the field upon which you'll actually lay him down because he'll stay there the whole game. You might want to take the road, which he'll only stay there until the road is complete, or you might want to take the city, which will stay there until the city is complete. So let's go over how sort of scoring works and stuff. I'm going to sort of play against myself just using the same side, so it's going to be very unfair, but that's okay. And it's sort of rare too here, but that's cool. So I'm going to put this tile here. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to put this tile here because I don't want to affect my city at all. I'm not trusting that I'm going to, and none of these roads are looking good to claim. So the city goes down. There's another road. I'm really hoping to like show off more of the city. Okay, there we go. So I placed the city down, and now my city has been expanded. I should explain with the city. If a city is completed during the game, the way scoring works is that you get 2 points per tile that a city is on. Also, you get 2 additional points per banner. So for here, right now, if this city was somehow completed, which it's not because we have this opening over here, we would score 6 points off of the city and then an extra 2 points from the banner. So we'd get 8 points in total. So we're going ahead and making our city even bigger. And it's still growing. Still growing. And we've completed it. Beautiful. So we get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We'd get 14 points. I'd get my meeple back. Move my scoreboard up 14. And did I do that right? I had 13, 14. Okay, there we go. And then gameplay would continue. That is cities. That is how they work. Something of note is, let's say we were playing with the second player. So let's pretend that the city is like this far. So player 2 who's yellow, let's say I have my meeple here, right? And player 2 who is here goes and places his stuff like here. You cannot place a meeple on a location that's already claimed. What that means is that he cannot go and take his meeple and go here, even though the city's completed, just completed now, because my meeple is there. However, and this applies to all features in the game, you can set the meeple, you can have a scenario where a meeple would get in the, basically is shared. So let's just do this. Let's say yellow has a city over here that he's claiming. And I was really hoping for an easy way to show this. Oh, beautiful. And then another player, red or yellow, connects the two cities together. Now red and yellow both mutually own the city. And this is perfectly fine. What this means is if the city does score, which I'm really hoping to draw a piece to do that. Here we go. Both players will receive the points. So both players will receive 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. 22 points, which is a lot. Yeah, so like if you have the same number of meeples in a feature that gets claimed, you share the points. However, we're going to get more extreme here. Let's just say it was like this. Yellow is here. This isn't placed yet. Oh, there's like no way to easily do this, huh? Well, okay, so let's say red places this here and he wants to protect the city because, you know, he's afraid that this piece might come up. You cannot do this. You cannot place multiple meeples on the same. If there's a meeple that's already connected to the feature, you can't place another meeple onto that feature. But if you connect them like so, as I demonstrated before, I screwed it up somehow. There we go. If you place it like so, both players score, and all the awesome things happen. So yeah, let's play a couple more turns, explain the other features. That's the cities. That sort of gives a lowdown. And again, those meeple rules stand for all types of features, including farms, which they only get scored at the end of the game and are also worth a lot of points. But we'll get to that. So let's go ahead, get back to the starting spot. Let's go ahead and talk about the next thing, which is let's do chapels. So chapels, when you place a tile down, and again, you can only place a meeple on the tile you've just placed. So you can't be like, okay, I've placed the chapel here, this tile's unclaimed, I'm going to claim this city. That's not how it works. You can only place a meeple on the tile you just placed. And the way it works also is that you place your meeple and then you score. So this is sort of important because if you have all your meeples out on the field, so let's just say all of them are out, and then you place something, I don't know, a city here, and you wanted to claim that road, and you had a meeple in the city, you could not claim that road or field because you'd have no meeples left, and the meeple will only go back to you after that city is scored, which happens after placement. So, yes. I screwed this up. Oh, wow, it's smart. allowed me to only get the meeples. I like that. Handy that. Okay, cool. Right. So chapels. Chapels are basically the way, or they're monasteries actually. The way they work is that they score a point per tile that they are attached to, including itself. So they are complete when they're completely surrounded by tiles. So a tile like the chapel will be complete when when this happens. The chapel is completed. I can score. It's worth 9 points. Boom. I get to move my guy up 9 points. And awesome stuff happens. There's no really fighting for chapels. Basically, once a person has a chapel, they have control of it. And that's really it. There's nothing you can do about it. We'll go ahead and keep these tiles here. The next thing I'll talk about is the road, which is the last feature that you can capture, that if it's completed during the game, you score and continue. And of course, I'm not pulling any road tiles, so I'll go ahead and grab this one. So this is a road tile. I've placed a guy on it. He becomes a bandit, or a thief actually, and he claims the road. Now again, roads act exactly the same as cities in terms of yellow can't place another road here. It can't place this tile and claim this road because there's that meeple. He's connected to it. But again, if yellow placed down this chapel, and didn't want to claim the chapel for some reason, he could claim the road, and then later they could be connected and they'd be sharing the points. And if, let's just say, we're going crazy here, we need to do something crazy, which won't make any sense. But let's just say that the yellow was able to connect another yellow dude, let's say yellow dude here. And do I have anything? No. So we had this tile. And then, not the tile I want, not the tile I want, not the tile I want. One of these tiles. There we go. And then does this. Yellow scores the road. Reds gets nothing. And if there's other players on the road, they also get nothing. Basically, the person who has the most meeples on the road wins. And if there's a tie, they share the points. Sorry if I'm being repetitive, but just, getting the scores in. Just to explain. Now, roads score with 1 point per tile. This is the same for if it's during the game or at the end of the game. So it would be worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Roads come to an end at these things here, the sort of villages. They come to ends at chapels. That's how you know a road is completed. Basically, any crossroad that is found is basically an end piece for the road. They can also end at cities, so a city can end and going into the city and things like that. And that's how a road is completed and scored. Last but not least is fields. Fields basically are probably the quote most complicated part of the game. Not really once you sort of understand them, but they can be a little confusing at first. Fields basically, the way they work is, and you got to be careful using fields because, or claiming fields, because you're basically investing into that field and hoping that that field pays off. Basically, when you claim a field, so let's just say it's my turn, and I place this piece down, and I notice, oh hey, that city completed. I'm going to claim this field. Normally, you'd be laying them down, so I don't know how to actually flip it in the right way. So I'm not going to, but there we go. I did it. All right, beautiful. 2 thumbs up. So yes, when they're laying down, that means they're claiming the field. And what the claiming of the field means is that for every completed city within the field, you get 3 points. So this can be really worthwhile when you have a bunch of cities in the same field. I'm just going to place pieces in that don't really fully make a whole lot of sense, but we're just going to roll with it because we can. So this will be more realistic. Boom and boom. Again, doesn't make any sense, but here's the fields basically go and are cut off by roads, but only if they're fully cut off. And this field basically is this tile, like this area, this whole area, this whole area, this whole area. this whole area outside, because there's no cutoff, because the chapel is letting the field go on both sides. This whole area, and this whole area, but not this area because there's no field connecting this field to the big field. If the game ended with this field, this person would be getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 completed cities, which means that's worth 15 points, which is quite nice for an end game score. Again, and typically you're sort of going to be fighting for good fields. So if I was red and I placed this here, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to place this guy on the field. I love that I'm getting those right. And then what I do is that piece doesn't make any sense, so let's do that. I'll try to make like pieces that actually make sense. Okay, and then let's put that piece there. We're going to pretend that, you know, that is a piece that makes sense right now for the moment. That field is now connected to this field. The meeples are sharing the field. That means both points are going to be scored for both teams, and it's very helpful one-on-one to like try to control the person's fields that they're on and things like that. Honestly, that sort of is the whole game. You play until all of your cards are out, until you've used all your cards, so you'll have a very big board. The way scoring works at the end of the game is basically any meeples you have up, you'll still score them, even if you haven't completed the features that they're claiming. So cities, they become 1 point per tile as well as 1 point per banner. So instead of 2 points for each, they're now 1 point. So let's just say this city was not done. The game ended like so. This person would only get 1 point, which is unfortunate. But if we had this piece connected here too, which the dude doesn't really want, but that's okay. This would be worth 3 points because it's 1 point for that part of the city, 1 point for this city, and then another point for the shield, and then that person would be scored, and you'd add it to your total score. Monastery still stays the same. You would just score 1 point per tile that's surrounding it, and the monastery tile itself. So for here, the yellow person would score 8 points. Roads basically score like normal, as if they were completed. With 1 point per tile, so this would be worth 1, 2, 3. This would be worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points if somebody had claimed it and it was the end of the game. And then the farms, the fields, that's scored at the end of the game. That's really scoring and everything. I'll go and do a quick round or two. Let me just go ahead and refresh this. And also, real quickly, go over the river, which really doesn't do anything too crazy. But basically, the river has its own pile of 10 cards and then an ending tile. So in essence, instead of using the starting tile, you get rid of it. And I'm going to play against myself with two players just for a couple of cards. I'll shuffle this, and the river ending tile will be placed at the end by the last player. So I flip it. You have to connect the river to the river, and I could be like, I could claim the field, or really all I have is the field here. I'm not going to do anything. So now it's yellow's turn. Something of note is that you can't have the river bend in the same direction twice. So if this was a bend, I couldn't have it be going this way. That would not be right. So yellow goes, ooh, that was a good draw that he just got. He gets a chapel, and he's going to go ahead and place it. You could also claim the road if you wanted to, and you could also claim the field. Only one of those, though. But he's going to claim the chapel because he's already guaranteed 3 points, and guaranteed 4 points because the next river needs to be placed, which is by red, which red is really not digging the river, so red is not going to do anything. Yellow goes now, and is digging the city, though not loving it, but he will claim the city just because red is, not doing too well, seemingly to him, and yeah. So red gets this piece, and red isn't liking yellow city, so he wants to put pressure on it ideally. And yellow's going to go, and yellow's going to get lucky. There's no road here that he's going to have to connect to the city, which red was not hoping for, but alas, that's life. Red goes again, and a boring river. Nothing really notable. and yellow goes. Yellow goes and likes these, and he's going to claim this city over on the left. And now red is going. Red hasn't placed any pieces down, so he's going to go ahead and claim this city. Finally, again, here's a perfect example. Yellow could not place this piece like so because it becomes impossible to place it. So he has to place it like so. And that was the final piece. So red finally places the final piece here. Nobody's claimed this field at all. So red is actually going to go ahead and claim this field just because it's going to be a very powerful field, and I'm going to place it like so. All right. And then after you use the river deck, you've basically done the starting spaces, and now it's yellow's turn. So yellow goes, flips up. Tries to find the good spot. Yellow thinks a good spot is here. Places another guy on this city. He's going for a lot of cities here. A lot of big cities, ideally. Red sees this, doesn't want to connect. Wouldn't hurt anything, but really doesn't want to. Doesn't want to give yellow any more points or nullify the points he has. So we'll put the city there. Yellow goes again. Yellow has a road. It's going to place the road there. This way, he's one step closer to completing the chapel. Red goes now. Red has a chapel that he was really looking forward to, and he's sort of debating on what to do here. There's a couple moves he could make. He's going to go ahead and place it in the corner over here and claim the chapel for himself. Now, something of note is that the field that red controls right now goes from here to here. It's not expanding past this point. This point is still uncontrolled. And this field is still uncontrolled as well. So I could claim the field here, but I'm not seeing a reason to. So here we go. It's yellow's turn. Yellow's going to take some easy points. It's not going to like giving red easy points too, because this will make it so he gets 3 points. But that's okay. So what he's going to do is he's going to claim that other city, which he's doing first. He has to place the guy first and then score this. So he gets 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because it's 2 points per city when the feature is complete during the game. And they're worth 2 points each. So 2 of them, there's 4. So it's red's turn again. Red likes this tile because he can do this. And yellow's really sad now because that city is probably never going to be complete, possibly. Yellow's happy though because the chapel is helped out at least. And yellow's going to go ahead and complete this, add on to the city to make more points. Red doesn't really know what to do with this tile. Red will put the tile there. Try to work on completing the city. Yellow's going to keep adding points to the city. He's going to have a nice long city, and if he scores that, that's going to be really nice for him. Red really does not want to connect those cities together. There's really no advantage for him to do that, so he's going to actually be sneaky here. He doesn't like this long city, so hopefully we can see a little something here. He's going to place a guy there to claim that city. Yellow's going to go. Now, the smart move here for yellow would be to do this. However, I'm going to have him be dumb and do this instead. So something yellow is also going to do is claim this road. Yellow's claimed that road. He scores that road. And that's going to be worth 2 points because it's 2 tiles. So yellow's taking a demanding lead here. Red goes, places a road down so that his chapel gets more near completion. We'll also claim that road. Yellow's going. Yellow doesn't like red city. Cannot place it there though. So yellow's just going to do something stupid just so I can show you. Red is going. Red will complete that city. Yellow's going. Yellow will place a chapel there because that's a very great place to place that chapel, which makes red sad. And then red is going. Red will complete that city, put a meeple on it since he's got 2 left, and score it, which will give him 4 points. Like so. We're still going, still waiting for that perfect piece. And yellow is actually going to place that there. Yellow's going to grab a meeple and claim this road. And again, this is because he hasn't placed a meeple on the tile. We'll grab that meeple to score the city and get 4 more points. 3, 4. Beautiful. And then I just want to show the one damn thing, which it doesn't want me to. All right. The red, I think it was yellow. Oh no, that was red. Red will do that and claim this city. Yellow is going. Yellow wants to make that end there. Beautiful. Yellow or red does that just because he's dumb, or realistically maybe does that. Oh god. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. And red doesn't want to claim anything here, but we'll score the lovely city for 4 more points. 4. And I really just want one piece to show off. Ah, damn it. Okay, yellow's going to do a stupid move. Red's going to put this here and is just going to, since the game's ending shortly, going to put it there. Yellow's going to put that piece there. Yeah, red does that. Yeah, I think you're getting the idea, basically. The only thing I want to show you... Okay, there we go, finally. So, okay, red gets this piece, and red is going to do this. And what this means is now this city actually will score. There's really no need to score when you're playing one-on-one because you're both going to get the same amount of points, so it really doesn't matter. But just to, go over the scoring one more time, it'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 points each. So you could either move both of them up, but if this meeple wasn't here, you'd only be moving the yellow one up and such, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I think that's about it. Let's just pretend the game ended. So we had that there. The way the game ends, so we're going to pretend the game ended right now. And score real quick. So we'd score everybody that's standing first, I find to be easier. So yellow would get 8 points here because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with the chapel. So yellow would get 8, so that would put him to 18. Yellow would get another 8 because of this chapel. Yellow's looking pretty strong here. I think yellow's going to end up winning it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yellow will score yellow's last piece, or one of these last pieces. He'll get 3 points there because it's a shield and 2 city pieces. Scores the road. It'll be worth 1, 2, 3, 4. Red finally will start scoring. Red will get 8 for the chapel that he didn't complete. Put him to 16. Oops, moved him up 1. There we go, fixed. Red will score for that city that didn't get completed, so it'll be worth 1, 2, 3, 4 points for red. And finally, red will also score this road that was not completed, which is worth 1, 2, 3, 4. And then last but not least, the field, the most important one, which actually might help here. So it's only completed cities that you score on. And you can score on a city multiple times. So just for fun, if yellow had this field, you would score on each different field separately. So red, you'd score on his field first, which is a big field. It goes to here. It's connected to the city, so that's worth 3. 6 points because it's connected to that city, 9 points because it's connected to that city, and in total it gets 9 points. That city it does not get any points for because it's not connected to anything. Same with these, or it's not connected to the field, so it'd be worth 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, which ends up in a tie. That's pretty cool. But let's just say he had this, yellow had this field over here. Even though you scored the city for this field, you still haven't scored the city for this field, so you would still score it. It's not like, the city only goes to one field. It can go to multiple fields, or like, a crap ton of fields if, red had a guy there and a guy there. So yeah, yellow would score this, score 3 and win. And that's about it. Honestly, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. If you'd like me to do any games, other games, let me know. Otherwise, have an excellent one and hope you enjoyed.